For a great many people, money is a highly sensitive subject. Since managing money can be so divisive, many people choose to steer clear of the subject altogether and concentrate solely on earning and spending money. There are basically two different categories of people, those who get more riches and those who lose it. And I'll share with you 10 faults in this video that you really must avoid. The truth is that maintaining wealth is much more difficult than acquiring it. It's not unusual to see wealthy individuals who acquire their riches through inheritance, the lottery, or other unanticipated means lose it quickly. The well-known boxer Mike Tyson is a prime example of someone who made an absurd amount of money yet lost it all. Despite having made over $300 million throughout his career, he filed for bankruptcy in 2003 and was said to be more than $20 million in debt at the time. It goes without saying that no matter how much money you make, financial blunders can ruin your finances. Let's now discuss the 10 errors that you must avoid. But before we get started, please like and subscribe below for the YouTube algorithm. Number 1. Spending on cigarettes or drugs. While using a few drugs in college may have been entertaining and appeared innocuous at the time, the truth is that continued usage can be detrimental to your health and finances. Calculating how much money smokers and drug users spend each week or year will show you how many of them are hindering their capacity to become financially independent. As an illustration, a pack of cigarettes costs $9.08, and many smokers consume a pack each day. This comes out to $3,305.12 per year, or $63.56 every week. Sadly, many drug and cigarette users enter into this habit out of curiosity and peer pressure. The same amount of money could pay your property taxes or finance a 2-week vacation. Long-term, this behavior will take a heavy toll on both your health and your wealth. As a result, do your best to avoid spending money on these things. Number 2. Spending too much money. The temptation to do this, especially as a young adult, can be great. When you first graduate from college and start earning a steady paycheck for the first time in your life, it can be tempting to spend your money. The thought of getting that new automobile, relocating, or traveling in first class is alluring. But the issue with them is that if your salary is insufficient to cover these expenses, you frequently find yourself living paycheck to paycheck. This problem is comparable to lifestyle inflation, in which rising income leads to rising living costs. You shouldn't be cautioned to raise your cost of living by a wage raise. However, the majority of individuals believe that after receiving payment, one should treat oneself. Instead, you should use this stream of money to make investments and buy assets to extend your wealth. To impress others is likely the main motivation for many to spend more than they can afford. They spend because they have low self-esteem and feel inferior to other people without these financial possessions. However, as Dave Ramsey points out, this is faulty reasoning because we buy things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people we don't like. We all engage in this to some extent. You can improve your financial situation if you learn to put off gratification and stop worrying about pleasing others. Overspending is also a result of social media. People spend a lot of money trying to appear wealthy even though they are not. An internet business owner, for instance, who was convinced he would never succeed in his industry, would purchase a pricey car when he makes his first significant sale in order to disprove his doubters. Attempting to impress others, again, is a trap. This method of making an impression is an endless staircase. There will always be someone to compete with or flaunt your skills in front of. When your monthly income is only $3,000, you have no business purchasing a $2,000 gizmo. Be wise, develop a budget, and keep tabs on your spending to make sure you don't go over your allotted budget. Number 3. Poor investment decisions. Investments can be extremely difficult, and many people invest their money based on recommendations from friends or a strong belief that the prices of well-known stocks will continue to rise. Nowadays, real estate appears to be a form of asset that almost everyone is interested in. Many people believe they will be financially secure once they acquire an investment property. They believe that once rent payments begin to arrive on a monthly basis, your income will soar. This is regrettably not always the case. There are occasions when tenants fail to make their payments, appliances fail, or the value of your home drops. There is risk involved, as there is with all investments. The prudent investor knows that the secret to making their assets generate a consistent flow of income is to thoroughly research a market or product before investing their hard-earned cash in this business. In other words, do your research and don't just get into something because your buddies are making money from it or a salesperson informed you about all the fantastic advantages. What it offers. Number 4. Fading quick money schemes. One of the most reliable ways to lose money is to participate in get-rich-quick schemes. Following a money scheme would undoubtedly land you in difficulty since, as the phrase goes, quick money causes swift issues. Ponzi scams, pyramid schemes, and make money overnight offers are all examples of get-rich-quick schemes that are designed to enrich the creators of the schemes by siphoning off your hard-earned cash. Exercise caution while considering new business endeavors, especially if they seem to offer low risk but large potential returns. Consider it in this way. If it takes a career 20 years to earn $200,000, but a new business claims you can make as much money in 1 year, wouldn't everyone be doing it if it were true? In order to sum up, always use your best judgment before signing anything if you want to get money quickly. Number 5. Having no emergency fund. Life doesn't always go your way, let's face it. And occasionally you need money to get yourself out of a jam. For instance, your washing could break down, your car could suddenly stop operating, or you could lose your job. Since almost everything in life is expensive, it is crucial to have an emergency fund set up. Failure to do so would be financially disastrous. Unfortunately, according to a 2019 Federal Reserve survey, less than 40% of American adults could afford a $400 emergency with cash, savings, or a credit card charge that they could rapidly pay off. In order to raise the $400, about 27% of those polled would have to borrow money or sell something, and an additional 12% wouldn't be able to do it at all. Fortunately, you can avoid being one of these folks. These monies could be simple to save. All you need to do is ask your employer to set up an automatic 10% withdrawal from your pay, which will divert a portion of your paycheck to an emergency savings account. How do you determine when you've saved enough, though? The majority of financial experts advise you to save up for 6 months' worth of costs, but if you want to be especially careful, 1 year's worth is a wonderful target to establish. Number 6. Having only one source of income. The majority of people live their lives with one primary source of income, which is typically a salary. Unfortunately, despite what many might think, jobs are not always secure. In reality, more than 21 million Americans lost their jobs in 2018, which means that if your employment was your only source of income, your income stream abruptly stopped. You should picture yourself as a tree when it comes to your sources of revenue. Do trees produce fruit from a single branch only? Simple no is the response. Like them, you should have several branches that produce flowers and fruits. You should continue to create and pick up new skills so you can make your money work for you. This is a safe way to get some sleep at night in addition to being smart. Number 7 is using credit cards a lot. Credit cards can be a practical tool for many people, but they can also be a one-way trip to debt for others. Although some business applications require credit cards, relying on them excessively might lead to financial catastrophe. Using credit cards encourages impulsive buying. It instills in you the belief that anything is within your means with just one simple swipe. In fact, a 2001 MIT research indicated that using a credit card as opposed to cash can increase spending by up to 100%. In order to avoid spending too much money on credit, make it a practice to pay with cash. When paying with cash, you are physically handing away money, and you will feel the financial impact of that purchase far more keenly than when paying with a credit card. Number 8. Fear of taking financial risks. As they say, there is no reward without risk. You must take risks in order to earn money. You must, however, weigh the danger you are willing to take. If you put your money in an index fund, for example, the risk is larger than if you leave it in a savings account, but your money will never grow and earn the usual 0.09% interest that savings accounts provide. Instead, making an investment in an index fund, which tracks the trends of the entire stock market, has traditionally generated returns of 7% yearly, which, in my opinion, is a calculated risk that is worthwhile to take. Number 9. Save instead of investing. Money that is kept in a bank depreciates over time as a result of inflation. However, money expands when it is correctly invested. It's really that easy. In error number 9, I noted that it's a mistake to be afraid to take financial risks. People who will save all of their money and let it accumulate over time are those who are afraid to take chances. The only funds you should keep in a savings account are those needed for daily spending and an emergency cash fund. In other words, you shouldn't just save for the sake of saving, you need to save to invest. Without a solid plan, money saved will ultimately be squandered on unimportant items. For instance, if you put money in your bank, you might be tempted to buy a new automobile, some designer clothing, or go out to eat. Instead, you should invest that money to make it work for you. All of these opportunities, whether they come in the shape of stocks, real estate, REITs, or startups, provide a way to generate fresh sources of income, which is much more financially advantageous than allowing your money to lose value while it is kept in the bank. Number 10. Just having one bank account. For a number of reasons, having just one bank account is unsafe. First off, managing your finances will be quite challenging if you only have one bank account. You must save all of your emergency, bill, and college funds in one place if you only have one bank account. If you overspend with this money, you run the danger of not having access to emergency funds or funds for your education when you need them. You ought to have at least 3 bank accounts because of this. One should be set aside for unanticipated emergencies. Another account, which I'll refer to as a play account, can be used for your daily expenses. You put money into your play account to spend on entertainment or travel. And you ought to create an untouchable account if you want to go any higher. You may automate your savings process and make sure your wealth increases over time by using this account as a savings account to which payroll deductions are made each month. Thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button right away if you want to switch from the life you currently lead to the life you truly deserve.